everyone, I'm here with Roberto Villamar from My Concierge, who is presenting on Google Apps for Work today. So if you have any questions, you can answer at the end of the webinar, and thank you very much for coming in today, Roberto.
Thank you, Dana. Hello, everyone. This is very exciting to be here. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for accepting my proposal for telling you a little bit about Google Apps for Work. I think it's a lot of information to share, so we will try to do our best during this presentation. Hope you enjoy it. A little bit about myself. I have been working as an executive the last 20 years plus. I've been both working as an executive and also entrepreneur. What I am telling you this because I have been there. I have been in the position where I have to implement or be part of a team that we needed to implement a software, ERP, anyway, a new software solution. But I also have been on the side that we have to make the calls, and also that you have to make the calls and you have to implement the solution by yourself. Right now, my focus is on strategy. I am a Chief Strategy Officer and member of the board member, so I will tell you a little bit about the use of Google Work for those purposes. Also, I am here in Canada developing some business development between Canada and South America, so I will share some details about that. Related to Google Apps for Business, I have been a power user, team leader, and trainer for the last couple of years. I have been using Google Apps since June 2010, so I'm telling you and sharing this information because I will be sharing my experience. I am also an authorized reseller since January 2014, and that gave me the access to have more information, the way Google Apps is willing to be promoted, the way the challenges they face. So I will be able to share both sides, as a user and also as a reseller. This webinar is not, I think this is important to clarify expectations. This will be not a web security talk. We will be not discussing IT engineering. This will not be a comparison between software, the different solutions, nor hardware. I am not going to get into those details. And also, this is not a complete and detailed presentation of Google Apps for Work, and Android. That will take us much longer. This is a brief presentation, and what this webinar is, and you are welcome to be here, is if you want to understand how Google Apps is promoting the change of the way we run our businesses from a managerial perspective, and that's our role. As business owners, as decision makers, that's the perspective that I will show it to you. Secondly, if you want to have a hands-on example about how effective the suite can be for reducing time and creating an impact on your team, at the end of the day, improving performance. And finally, if you want to understand the top 3 challenges for effectively implementing Google Apps in your business. So welcome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here and taking the time to share this couple of minutes with me. As you have already realized, I moved to Canada 3 years ago, also to the Waterloo region a couple of years ago, and I will share this journey with you today and how Google Apps has been helping me so far. So welcome once again, and thank you for being here with us. First of all, a little bit about my profile, but mainly my challenges. Even though I'm here in Canada, I keep having to report to my home country, which is Ecuador, and I have to report to the board of directors, C-level, to the teams and units. I have to keep track and progress of the projects we have at the company. I have to review and approve files with several teams. like all of us, I have to chat, call, video conference on a daily basis. I am a multiple device user, so I have desktop, laptop, smartphone, tablet. I telework most of the time, and I also have to travel quite often. That's pretty much, and what I'm sharing this with you is because pretty much, I'm pretty sure you also have the same challenges. I was trying to imagine your cases, your situation, in order for you to become more familiar with the concepts that I will be sharing. Once again, I have no local IT support. I have to keep my IT budget to the minimal, and eventually I have access to the ERP and other specialized software that we run at our company. During this journey, since I moved to the Waterloo region and also to Canada, I have been asking and I've been having some questions about Google Apps. One of the first one is probably this one. My name at mydomain.ca or com or whatever it is versus my name at freemail.com or my great business at freemail.com. I think this is a very first important challenge that we have to understand as business owners. Let's say that we are working very good, we are doing things greatly in our business, but what if our presentation is John at gmail.com? I think this is not the right way we want to introduce ourselves, and also this is not the right way we want to introduce our business. So that is a very first challenge that we have to face and solve. I will show you how easily that can be done with Google Apps. So don't worry, we're here to tell you about that. Next, I attended to a seminar here at the school, my daughter's, and the seminar was you have to Google your name. You have to Google your company. That means that you have to be aware, you have to control and monitor what is happening with your name, with your brand, with your picture, with your images when you perform an internet search. This is very critical nowadays, and we as companies, we as business owners, we have to take control of that. We have to design what is pumping up once we have that internet search. So we are sure we are projecting the right image. So first of all, what is Google Apps for Work? Anytime, please, you have any questions, please drop any question to the field you have. We will be trying to solve most of them during the presentation, and afterwards we will have a space for that. So please feel free to share your questions, your comments during the presentation. First of all, what is Google Apps? Google Apps for Business, Google Apps for Work, Google for Work. Probably you have seen these three names. Is it the same? Yes. The question is very simple, and the answer is yes. Google Apps for Work is the current name for the suite. It started a couple of years ago, Google Apps for Business, and it has been changing. Nowadays is Google Apps for Work, the official name, but you will eventually find it Google for Work. What is it? What are we talking about? How can I best describe Google Apps? And this is a challenging answer. So the best way for me to share that concept with you is I would like to think about Gmail and calendar, my mail and my calendar, as Microsoft Outlook, right? Where we have all of our contacts, we have all of our tasks, we have all of our calendar. So I would like to think the first part of Google Apps as Gmail, calendar, and the related applications. Next, I would like to introduce Google Drive. Google Drive is the suite, the productive suite, where we have Google Sheets, Google Slides, Docs, Drawing, and Forms. And then I would like to make the comparison. I would like to say that Google Sheets is probably Microsoft equivalent to Microsoft Excel. Google Slides will be equivalent to Microsoft PowerPoint, and Google Docs will be equivalent to Microsoft Word. So when we have this equivalent, probably a good way and simple way to describe Google Drive is saying is a Microsoft Office. And if you are familiar with that, Microsoft and the Office suite, you might be very aware of Office 365, which is the online version. So once again, this is a very simple way to describe it. Now look plus Office combined all together. This graph, and I will invite you to take a note to this address, this link, google.ca/trends. This is a great tool to be monitoring. You can have any concepts here, any names, any brands. For instance, I was checking here Microsoft Office, I was checking Google Drive, and I was checking Office 365. This is not market share. This is only what Google is telling us, since most of us are always Googling our searches on internet, the number of appearances that we are performing on the internet searches. So as you can see, Microsoft Office is huge, but you can see the growth of Google Drive. Impressive, isn't it? And then you can have a good look of Office 365. That gives you the idea that Google Drive is really taking a very, very good presence in the market, and this is something to be aware of. I will show you a couple of next slides, something even more interesting. Coming back to the freemail version, this is Google Free. When you open your account, this is usually what you have as option. I will switch my screen to my personal Gmail account, which is this one. As you can see, I have a very nice sunset over there. And if you press this button, these are the options that I will be sharing in the next screens, right? Here we have Gmail, Drive, Calendar, Maps, Play, News, YouTube, Search, etc. I'm coming back to the presentation, all right? And this is free for all of us. We have all of this. We just need to open a Gmail account, and we're there. We can have Google Play right here, and from here we can download movies, TV shows, music, books, newsstands, devices. We can synchronize our devices properly, so that's free. The next level, Google for Work, is when you already connected your domain to the Google servers. That is part of the implementation and deployment process, what it's called, and you will be already having a username, probably your name, at mydomain.ca. What's new? I would remark these three things. First, Marketplace, Slides, and Vault. Marketplace is where you can find a lot of application and software that has been already combined and designed to work together and directly with Google with your Google account. Many of these apps are free, and that is something interesting to explore. Some of them you will be finding different ways of pricing, so that is an interesting place to spend quite a time if you want to find some options. Then we will have, sorry about that, we have Slides, which is what I call an intranet or an extranet. I will show you an example about that. And something very important is Vault. Vault is the tool that Google for Work offers us in order to perform archiving and auditing to the accounts. So we have the free version, we have Google for Work, and probably you have already heard about Google for Education. Google for Education is already happening in Ontario, and this is the way our children are having their accounts. The name of the student at googleapps.ontario. the name of the board, and .ca. What is the difference here? As you can see, it's pretty much the same as Google for Work, but we have here, or they are offering here, the classroom. The classroom is the equivalent to the marketplace for Google for Work, but here teachers will be able to find content, math, grammar, physics, science, whatever it is. This will be the place, the classroom will be the place where our teachers and our children will be sharing content. So this is happening, and I wanted to introduce you to this memorandum dated October 2013, where what it says is telling that the schools in Ontario will be using this productivity suite in order to perform cost and the technology level that our kids and children will be learning with. So both suites, Google Apps for Education and Microsoft Office 365, are approved to be running in our schools. I don't know if you have your children already using the tools. Right now it's not mandatory. It is an option for schools because, first of all, they need the teachers need to learn the tool, and then they have to get the hardware, Chromebooks, in order to use it properly at a very affordable price and cost. So anyway, Google for Education is here for our children, and if we go back to that slide talking about the awareness of the tool on internet, imagine what will happen with our kids or start learning with Google for Education during their whole years at school. That's going to be a lot. Another question, Google Apps or Google for Work, Google Ads, Google AdWords. It's the same. This is a question that I found on the way very, very often. So we have reviewed briefly that Google for Work is the suite for work. Usually you have a partner which is an IT specialist. Is a company that will be offering IT solutions, software development, training, change management. All the IT world will be related to Google for Work. Google Ads or Google AdWords are tools for advertising, where your partner will be a marketing specialist. Here you will be talking about SEO, online marketing, campaigning management, etc. So if you are already running your business and you want to be promoted, probably where you want to head up is finding a partner and talk about Google AdWords. But if you're willing to have the suite in order for you to work, to have your email, your spreadsheets, your information, intranets, the work inside the company, you should be looking for a partner in order to discuss Google for Work. So I'm trying to have a brief concept here. Google Apps for Work is a software as a service suite. It is designed to work natively with Gmail, Chrome, and Android, all of them part of Google. This means that the information the user has and works with is no longer on the hard disk of the computer, but in the cloud. This is another topic. We could be spending hours talking about cloud computing. I'm going to just briefly talk a couple of concepts. So hope you have not many questions, but if you do, we will try to solve them at the end of that. The first question that I always face is the cloud safe, right? So I will try to answer this from Google point of view. They focus on 3 points: technology, process, and people. What are they saying? They say that you own your data and remain data controller of all of your information. Your data is always backed up. Google does not share your content or personal information. This is one of the most questionable part. People is always saying, oh, Google is reading my information. They are reading my emails. I will invite you to read this, have access to this link, google.com/privacy. Very interesting topics to read about. Something very important, you can delete or remove your data at any time. You can move your data out of the cloud again at any time. You decide if and with whom data is shared with. There are strict internal policies for Google. Software development process is focused on maximizing security, right? So the internal fraud detection algorithm tracks Googlers, that's for the people that work at Google, background checks, security and privacy, focus culture, and the promise they say is, you know, we are using the same infrastructure. The second question I always face is it available? I mean, can I rely on the software? Yes, they say 99.9% Google Apps will be available. You can check on this link, www.google.com/app status, and you will find this screen. This is up yesterday. Yes, you can see yesterday. All the services were running smoothly, no problem. But if there's any problem, you will have here a notice, a dot saying, you know, we have some issues, stuff like that. But this is the average running performance that Google is offering. So is it available? Is it reliable? Yes, 99.9% will be running. Who's using the cloud? Well, this is one of Google data centers. This is an amazing picture. But I'm trying to tell you 500%, that's the growth over the next 4 years that Gartner is predicting in terms of cloud. That's a lot. Everyone is moving towards the cloud. There are a lot of benefits there. So who's using the cloud? Pretty much everyone. How do we connect to the cloud? Right? This is the difference between a legacy model or a cloud model. Here, let's say this is your company, and you have servers, and you have firewalls, and you have all the IT infrastructure in order to connect to the cloud and run your software. While the other option is having a much more simple where your software are running on the cloud with Google Apps. Right? What is the promise of this type of solution? Low risk and simplicity. This is important for all of us. The size does matter. Well, in terms of corporate IT versus solopreneur or small medium company, yes, it does matter. We do have here an organizational chart. This is an IT organization chart. As you can see, they have everything. Top of the line, state-of-the-art infrastructure for everything. Web, information, network, security, social media, everything you name it. This is a great big corporation that has everything in it. But most of us, we're running this type of companies, all right? At least when you take up numbers and statistics about the members of the Chamber of Commerce here in the region, most of the companies are an average to 15 users, something like that. In cases like these, that's the situation. That's me here, me there, over there, over there, and over there, right? Challenges that you will be facing when you have to run an IT department and infrastructure like the one we saw before. A lot of costs. Email software, messaging software, backup software, mobile device management software, antivirus, spam, video conferencing, intranet, the personnel team, the IT team, and the cost of being up to date. This is expensive. If you divide all of the numbers here, that budget, to the numbers of users, you will be able to have the cost per user, right? And it will be surprisingly expensive if you want to have top-of-the-line security. When you talk about security, IT managers are recognizing, 80% of IT professionals say that laptops are the most significant security risk. Secondly, 70% of data breaches are caused by confidential information contained in USBs, right? And finally, 1 of 10 laptops will be stolen within its lifetime. Every 3 years, a laptop, 1 of 10, will be lost. And this is not good. And this is where the security breaches come. Not necessarily into the cloud system, not a hacker, not like that. If you have the basic security, you will be good. You have to take a closer look internally. As a small businesses, we are always facing challenges. This is a good one, right? If you're starting your business and you have to decide about capital expenditure, let's say that I need to get this new great oven or a server. Let's say that both cost $5,000. Do I get the first, should I get first the server or the oven, right? And from talent expenses, should I first have a sales teams or IT team, right? This is a challenging one. From our experience, my personal experience, you will always first have the product. So if you're selling bread or cupcakes, whatever it is, first you need the oven. You need someone to run the oven, and then someone to sell that. Then you get emails, and then you have a web page, and then you start running a business, right? Another challenge, very important to pay attention to, is mobile. According to Forrester in 2012, 53% of the employees of a company's average company are using their own technology for work purposes. Yes, 53%. That means that we are checking on our mobile device and our personal devices work-related email and information. I wanted to share briefly what's happening with this one. Again, google.ca/trends, and I am comparing here in blue, BlackBerry, red, Windows Mobile, yellow, OS for Apple, iPhone, and green, Android. Again, this is not market share. This is just the number of searches that are performed through Google, right? But we can have here a very clear understanding who is running and who is very, very active in the market. Android is really running on mobile, right? What's happening on tablets? On the other hand, we have in Microsoft Surface in yellow, in blue Samsung Galaxy, and in red we have iPad. So nowadays in terms of tablets, probably iPad is leading the awareness on the internet, and I just returned to the previous one, Android is running and leading the awareness on the internet for mobile devices. Coming back to our solopreneur infrastructure, right? We as managers, we as business owners, we need to be able to run a lot of things. We need to be able to perform some basic operations about users, about profiles, about support, right? Google Apps is offering what is called the admin console. This is the way it looks. Here you can have access to your users, how many of them you have, company profile, the cost of the service, how many apps you have, groups, security, support, device management, and reports, right? From here, from the admin console, once you have linked your domain and set up your domain to Google servers, you will be having the access to the Google Apps Marketplace, to dashboards, and a lot of other tools that Google is offering when you have your domain working with it, right? So I will be finishing the first part. I know there are a lot of concepts, and believe me, this is just a brief look to the whole things that we should be paying attention as managers. Final message here: even though we might not be IT experts, we have to get involved. We have to understand, and we have to be able to have the talk with experts and providers of service, so we can understand what is going on around technology. Next, I'm trying to introduce you to, very briefly, to an example, right? Coming together, Henry Ford was saying that coming together is the beginning, keeping together, progress, working together, success. Right? So I will be coming back to my screen, right? This is my myconcierge.ca account, right? Like, this is my personal one. This is my company one. I will be opening here sheets. Very simple. Here we have, I just have here the sheets, right? The equivalent to the Excel files. By the way, sheets, is that exactly the same to Excel? No, of course not. Excel is huge. I would say that sheets is good enough to perform the average user needs, right? If you are one of those advanced user with macros and stuff like that, probably sheets will be too small for you. But for the average user, this is good enough. So if we just click, here you have a quick look to spreadsheets. If you think about it, it's exactly the same like Excel, isn't it? Right? Format, data, tools, add-ons, help here, right? I will show you very briefly. What if I open the slides, right? Pretty similar, and again, like PowerPoint. And if I open again here, Docs, and I open here a new one, there you are, something very, very similar like Word. So here we have Docs, Slides, and Sheets, right? This is the example I prepared for you for today. I was willing to perform it with you. That would have been great. What I have here are 3 simple questions: age brackets, cell phone, and personal email, right? So with this information I introduce here, we have these charts, right? This pie. Now I'm going to open sites, and I'm going to open this example that I prepared for the Chamber of Commerce, our peer-to-peer group. This is an intranet, right? This is a space. I will call it like a web page, but you can control access to that. You designed this very, very easy. This is very similar to PowerPoint, and I will show you here the example that I have for today. There we are, interactive demo webinar. So I'm going to go back to the sheet. As you can see, these are the numbers, these are the graphs, the charts, and these charts are reflected right now. Now I'm going to erase the information, right? There is no information any longer. I'm going back to the intranet. I have to refresh my screen. empty. The information from the sheet is directly connected to the intranet here, right? And if let's say we all are this example and we are using these devices, just an example, and we are all users on Roger's account, Yahoo, Hotmail, Gmail account, let's say other. All right, new numbers. We go back to the intranet, we refresh the screen, and there you are. You don't need to update your intranet. You don't need to do anything here. Once you have linked the information from the corresponding file, you're ready to go. And as you can see, this is not a plain chart. It's very neat, isn't it? Very clean, interactive, right? So imagine you have a sales teams and they are introducing some information, let's say from their mobile devices on the field, and you are checking that information on a page like this at the office. Nice, right? Another example here, very briefly, this is a presentation that is embedded on a site, right, of the intranet. You also can have video, right? Something that I really like about this tool is how clean it looks. It looks good. I mean, and I am not a graphic designer. I just have basic concepts about coloring. I ask, as a member of the chamber, we all have access to this logo. So I choose the coloring, and pretty much that was it. I think looks good, right? Looks very professional. That was a very, very brief example that we were running just for a demo on our peer-to-peer group, right? If some of us will be here, I will see, let's say, John working here, and then Mary working here, and all of them will be together working at the same time, right? It's very nice. What can you do here? Well, you can share the information with several options. You can share this for editing, comment, or just view. Okay. Also, my intranet can be shared, and this is important. I have access to make it public on the web. Anyone with a link within my domain, right? Anyone at the domain with a link, or only specific people, right? There are several options how you design, how you perform your security. I will just to make it look better. Okay. Let's go back to the presentation. I will be trying to wrap up this part, right? So we have seen very, very briefly, I'm sorry, this is not the right way to do this. Ideally, a workshop will be the best place to show you, because there will be able to have a real experience. But of course, we have a very, very short time to share all of these concepts with you today. But I'm trying to do my best, and I hope you have a brief view about the suite. And finally, something that I think is very important for you to have as a takeaway, the three main challenges that, based on my experience, I see for effectively implementing Google Apps, and eventually not just Google Apps. Let's see. Number one, select the right reseller. You need a reseller. This is important. And you need to meet a dedicated reseller that is willing to offer Google Apps for Work. if you meet one of those resellers or IT companies that have several solutions, I am not 100% sure that Google Apps for Work will be their top priority, right? There are other solutions and there are terms why maybe could be more interesting to offer other solutions instead of Google Apps. So I encourage you to meet a dedicated reseller that is really willing to offer you Google Apps and that will walk you through the whole process of evaluation and until you get a good quote what it will mean to have Google Apps running in your business. Important, no reseller is the same. You should select your reseller based on your company size, industry, software, development needs, training needs, and company culture. This will be your partner, and you will be working with him or with this company for quite a time, right? Next is strong and hands-on leadership. It is not enough being the leader of your business, of your organization, and having decided to implement a solution, a software. That's not enough. Leading by example is the key in effectively implementing any software. Probably you have heard this. Yeah, I don't like IT. Technology is not mine. I am not familiar with it. I support, of course, this project 100%. I will continue using my current tools and reports though, but everyone in this organization is encouraged to use the new tools. Walking the talking, right? We need to walk the talk and we need to lead by example. If we are requesting the organization to adopt the new software, we as leader, we need to be the first top users of that new technology. And finally, IT deployment has to be fast. And then you start the continuous cultural change management, right? Deployment or the implementation process has to be fast as possible. So does the basic training to users and training to power users, the leaders of the implementation. But only then you will be ready to start the long-term alignment and change process, right? You need to adapt your internal policies, controls, projects, etc., reporting. You need to transform your organization to take the most benefit of this tool. So it's 1:45. I wanted to share with you this slide. It's very informative, right? Over 5 million companies are running Google Apps for Work. That tells you something. Probably you recognize some of the companies there: media, retail, travel, manufacturing, government, and education. 5 million companies are trusting already Google Apps for Work, and it's growing. That means something. So I think we have covered the 3 parts, understanding Google Apps from the managerial point of view, a very brief example of how you connect a sheet, a document with an intranet, a very basic setup of security, sharing that file, and finally, I want to understand the top 3 challenges for effectively implementing Google Apps in your business. So at this time, I would love to open a space for questions. I don't know if there are many or a few. Anyway, you can drop me a line. Feel free to contact us at webinars@myconcierge.ca, and I will be able to answer those. But we still have a couple of minutes together if I can answer some questions here.
Well, thank you very much for coming in today, Roberto. I appreciate you presenting the webinar, and on behalf of myself and the Chamber members, we'd like to thank you. There are no questions at this time, but as Roberto mentioned, if you do have any, please feel free to contact him. And if for whatever reason you can't get a hold of him, you can always respond to the the email that was sent to you through GoToWebinar, and that will go directly to me. So thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, Dana.